Welcome to Secrets of the Stars, where we explore the ancient knowledge of astrology, decode your unique blueprint, and unveil how the wisdom of the sky contributes to your life. I'm your host, Abby Lutis, astrologer, mentor, and sky guide. It's time to embark on a cosmic adventure of self-discovery and understanding why you are the way you are. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Secrets of the Stars. I'm so excited to be back in here with you today, and I'm going to be talking about astrology as a tool and accessing your intuition, because I believe that before we can use any tool that we have access to, like astrology, we need to first deeply understand our intuition. So I am back in here today. I have actually started a new house sit, and it's really beautiful. I'm going to be here for about 5 weeks, and I'm sitting at the dining room table looking out beautiful big windows out through across a beautiful big pool with palm trees and just gorgeous lush nature all around me, and I'm so much loving this place already. I have one beautiful cat that I'm looking after, Smooch. So we're getting to know each other, but it is such a beautiful spot. In other news, I have actually started at a new gym. One of the things that I was realizing in my life is that I just love weightlifting. And whilst I've been working out in other ways, I haven't been doing heavy weightlifting, and I realized that's what's been missing from my life. So the last 2 days I've been at the gym working out, and I'm really enjoying the program that they offer and the classes. It's really incredible. Next week, I have some friends coming up, and we are going to be competing in a masters competition. As some of you may know, I used to be a beach sprinter, and it is really ingrained in my DNA. I absolutely love this sport, and it's just something that has never left me and will never leave me. And my friends who we ran in a relay, an Australian Championship relay many years ago, they said to me, we actually only have 3 runners in our relay and we need another one. And, lo and behold, I was up here in the place where the competition is actually going to be. So I had to organize some of my qualifications. I really haven't done much running, but next week we are going to be competing in the Australian Surf Life Saving Masters Championships, and I'm so excited. We're really just going to be doing it for fun. But we all have a little bit of a competitive edge within us, so I think it will be great, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with my friends. So that is what's happening in my world. I have opened up my availability for April and May, and it's going to be filling fast. And I wanted to tell you this because mid-May, I'm actually going back to Alice Springs to do some tour guiding, and my schedule for readings and, forecast readings and reports, it's going to be a lot less. I will not have much time. So if you are interested in getting a reading, please come on down and book yourself in. If you're not sure what to book in for, and if you've never had a reading, I always recommend starting with a natal chart reading to help give you an understanding, and then we can go from there. But yes, this time is kind of ticking away. So please come on down and take advantage of the spots that I have in April and May before the appointment spots become very limited. I'm also I'm also gauging interest for the next round of Starlit Astrology for Self-Empowerment. We are nearly at the end of the course. There's only about 3 weeks to go. I can hardly believe it. And so I'm excited to be offering another round of Starlit, which will be at the end of this year. All right. So if you are interested, you can find the link in my show notes to sign up for that and register your interest and be the first to know. So today I'm going to be talking about astrology as a tool and astrology and your intuition. And I want to start off by saying that, astrology is so many things. It's a language, it's a guidance system, but it is also a tool, okay? And this is how so many of us use it. And this is, I really believe, how it should be used. I mean, we shouldn't ever say should too many times, but really astrology is a tool. And there are so many other modalities that we can use as tools. We can use human design, we can use hypnosis, we can use psychic mediums, we can use tarot cards, we can use so many different tools and have so many available to us in our toolkit. But what I really believe it is important when we are using astrology as a tool or anything as a tool is to not give our power away to that, right? Because, it is very easy to do with astrology and many other modalities to say, this is who I am, therefore I can't do this or I can't be this, or giving your power away to the energies that are current in the moment. And I always believe that there is light and shade and we get to choose which energy we would like to work with. Yes, there is always going to be high times and low times, and it's about learning and working through those and learning how to ride the waves. And really, the most important thing is to have autonomy and to come back to the self and know that we have power, know that we have confidence, and be able to access that first and foremost, because that is when we're going to get the most, the most out of the tools that we use. So I want to talk about intuition because first and foremost, it is just so imperative that we are accessing our intuition, this incredible guidance system that we have, this knowing that is coming from most of the time our gut or our heart. These are the places where generally intuition comes from. And it's, it can be hard to explain. But what we need to do is we need to decipher what the messages are coming to us, and which ones we need to take on board and which ones we need to leave behind. Because when we access these tools, and even in life in general, there are so many messages out there and they're not all for us, okay? We don't need to take everything on board, and we don't have the capacity to, but we shouldn't be listening to everyone. We need to access our intuition. Yes, we can access our mind, but I think equally intuition is as powerful, and I'll explain why in a minute. So we need to decipher what messages that we take and what messages we leave behind. And that's when we come back to, having this power, having this connection to our inner guidance system, all right? And it's the feeling body essentially. And this is not just in astrology, but in so many different areas, okay? And one thing that I am increasingly aware of is, even now as technology gets faster and faster, as AI increases, we are going to need to use our intuition to understand or to know what is actually real, because now we are seeing that there are fake photos, fake videos coming out, impersonations, and how are we even going to know if this is real or if this is not real, okay? The only way that we can really know that is by accessing our intuition. So the role of intuition in decision making is so important. And I just was thinking, how do we make decisions? and there's a few ways, right? We can make decisions with our head, which is ultimately our mind, and we can make decisions from our body, which is our feeling body, all right? So I really think that it's imperative that we consider both. The thing about making decisions from our mind is that minds can be very easily influenced. And if we don't have a strong sense of self, a strong sense of control and power over our mind, or if we really believe in someone and we fall into, taking someone's word as gospel, then this is how they are influencing our mind. So that is why it's important that the body needs to weigh in. And this is where intuition comes in. It's this feel that we have. It's this gut. It's hard to describe, right? It's a gut inner knowing, or it's a feeling in our heart about what is true and what is not. And I think everybody knows those times when you have the feeling where you should have done something, but you did something else. Often intuition really comes up and we question it when it's asking us to do something that feels a little bit off center, all right? Maybe it feels okay to us, but we wonder, like, what would, what would XYZ say about this? Or what would my partner say about this? And this maybe might not be the conventional way to go, all right? So this is why we need to practice using our intuition and really develop using it. And we can do that through astrology. So when we are accessing our intuition, what we need to do is, first and foremost, we need to understand when our intuition comes through, especially in times where things might not seem like we're making the right decision from a mind perspective. We need to get into the feeling body. When those tricky times come in, we then need to actually trust it. We need to trust that, yes, this feeling is the right feeling. And then when we trust it and choose that decision, we're usually rewarded for doing so. So the reason that I say this in regard to astrology is because astrology has such a wide and vast interpretation. There are many things that you can look at in the chart, and it can be interpreted in a myriad of different ways, okay? There's going to be certain things that are not going to be interpreted in a conversation about a particular aspect or a particular transit. There's just going to be things that do not apply, full stop. But there might be, a whole range of ways that you can interpret something that you're seeing. And so, if someone is giving you guidance and an interpretation on something in your life that is represented in your chart, you really have the autonomy, you have the power, right, to know what if that is real for you or if it's not. And it's important to speak up. And I always ask my clients, does this feel true for you? Because if it doesn't, then we can look for another interpretation. And even when choosing an astrologer, because when you work with someone one-on-one, it doesn't necessarily just have to be an astrologer. There's got to be synergy, okay? And if there's no synergy, the messages that might not come through, they might not be for you. They might just be a little bit off. They might not land. We know this when we make friends and we have partnerships, is that we are not for everyone. And it's the same when we're looking for guidance from these tools and practitioners and so on. Some people are just not going to work with other people. We can see that in an astrological chart, or when we combine the charts of two individuals, why things might just not work for these two people in this relationship. So I want to talk next about developing your intuition, because a lot of people that I talk to and I ask, do you have a good connection with your intuition? And a lot of people, they're not sure. They're not sure if they do. And that's totally okay, because, I've been through times as well where I think, is this a message for me or is it not? And I don't know. I find it hard to trust. Is this my intuition or is it not? So ways that you can develop your intuition. And I say start small, all right? You can make it a daily practice. I start with the small things that are insignificant, that don't really have a big weigh in your life. Start using your intuition to choose what you want to wear today, and make a conscious effort of asking your inner guidance, what feels good. And sometimes I like to play with this because my mind might want to wear a certain outfit, but then my intuition is choosing something else because that's going to be feeling much better for me as well. You can also do the same thing when you are choosing your meal. You can ask your intuition, like, what would I like to eat right now? Or what do I want to eat for lunch? Or, and because again, the intuition can guide us, and maybe we don't really know from a mind perspective. And this can be really, really interesting because, there's so many choices that we get to make with food. I'll give you an example of when I have done this recently. A good friend of mine, she asked me, we had planned to go out for dinner and I didn't know the area, and she gave me 3 different options. And, the first option I dismissed quickly because it was a pretty rainy day, and the first option was a beach bar. So I thought, I'll pass on that one, but let's have a look. We'll go there another time when the weather's much better. Anyway, then I had 2 to make a decision from. One of them was an Asian fusion restaurant, and the other was a Mexican. Now, I love Mexican, and, my mind wanted to choose the Mexican place. And, so I really, I looked at both options, but my intuition was saying, I think you want to go to the Asian restaurant, the Asian fusion place. Anyway, so I thought, okay, let's go with the intuition. So I suggested that, and off we went. We had a really great dinner. It was delicious. And, I'm really glad that I chose it. But then what was really funny was I was speaking to another friend who knew the area very well. And she said, I'm glad you didn't go to the Mexican because that is not great Mexican here on the coast. And so I was like pleasantly surprised that I'd got this feedback. And then when I'd asked my friend about the options that she had chosen, she had said she hadn't been to the Mexican either. And so I told her that my friend said it wasn't a great recommendation. So, that was like a little fun reward for me to see that unfold as it did. And these types of conclusions can help us to trust our intuition even more, so that when we get to making bigger decisions, that we really can trust. I feel like I've generally been pretty good in trusting my intuition. I've had my intuition tell me to do a lot of big, crazy things, especially in the realm of travel, okay? And I've always trusted that. And I move around a lot. I haven't been settled or still for, I feel like I have never really been in one spot for longer than 3 years. And that's due to me following my intuition when it comes to where I want to go and where I want to live and what I want to do and where I want to work. And that has come from really developing up this trust, and then actually choosing what my intuition is choosing. And then then I know what that inner knowing feeling is. And I think, oh, well, this is my intuition. I know to follow this. So we can actually also develop intuition through the lens of astrology. I think a lot of the guidance we can look to our moon sign, because our moon is representing our body, our feelings, our emotions, and we can have a look at the characteristics and start to embody those characteristics to help us connect deeper with our intuition. But really, it is just so important to use this incredible tool of intuition before we start deepening our practice and understanding our intuition. Because, honestly, with interpretations, with guidance, with anything like this, there is, we know ourselves best. We know our lives best. And, there are many ways that things can be interpreted. And it's not that the practitioner is wrong or doing something that they shouldn't be. They're probably doing everything exactly right. It's just that your intuition, has the guidance that you need the most. So that's all I wanted to talk about today, because I really think it is just so important to listen to that guidance system, the intuition, not even just with astrology, but with where we're going, the trajectory of, I can't even say that word, it's Mercury retrograde, the trajectory of technology speeding up and AI is just so important that we are accessing this inner guidance system that is so powerful in our feeling body. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode about intuition and astrology, how to use intuition as a tool, astrology as a tool, and intuition as a guidance system. If you're interested in registering your interest for my next round of Starlit, please go to my show notes and pop your name on the list and you'll be the first to know. If you're interested in getting a reading, booking in before my time gets eaten up, go to my website, abbylutis.com, and until next time, keep shining bright. Thank you for joining me on this cosmic journey of self-discovery. If you have enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and share it with someone who you think would love it. Keep exploring the secrets of the stars, and remember, the universe has woven a unique story just for you. Until next time, keep shining bright.